Here we go. Episode 72 of the Trash Talk Business Podcast, your weekly rendition of all things junk removal and beyond. Like Buzz Lightyear, we're out here winning to infinity like the 1-0 Green Bay Football Packers, 27 days away from the Packers putting the ass whooping on the Bears as we record this on the 14th of August, 2023. As always, I'm Andy Weins. He's Casey Bubba Lawrence. Casey, what are we talking about today?
Man, today we have a great guest. His name's Jozies, and he's out of Florida. And from what I gather, he's interested in junk removal. So we're going to talk about that.
And as always, Casey, with his amazing show prep, pronounced the name right, and got a location this time. Speaking of location, Casey, where are you? Like they put the baby in the corner. What are you doing?
Yeah, so we actually reconfigured the office to make it more accessible and feng shui-y. And I'm in the corner, so my boards, I haven't put my whiteboard up yet. It's on the other side. Okay. But I do have my Texas flag over here I'm about to put up as well. So no worries.
All right, and no unofficial sponsor. New unofficial sponsor. What does it even say?
Yeah.
I can't even see.
It's Texas First Rentals.
All right, Texas First Rental, unofficial sponsor. Official sponsor, Jobber. I'll probably mention Jobber and how amazing Jobber is. They featured me on the Masters of Home Service podcast. I learned about a bunch of different industries and how they use Jobber to be effective in their business. Check out Jobber at gogetjobber.com/Camo Crew Junk Removal for your free test drive. If you have any questions about Jobber, holler at your boy. I know a few things about a few things. All right. Now that we got the official business and unofficial business out of the way, Josie, why are you on the podcast today? Let's just start with a real softball question.
Well, I'm on the podcast just to talk junk removal today, talk about things, just things that I learned from, started with y'all show when I found it off Sonoma Sterone, and you was on there as a guest, and then, your podcast been teaching me a lot. I'm just catching up with a lot of things, questions that I have had before. So all the old episodes that I'm catching up with, solving some of them answers and everything, just get an outlook on junk removal. I've been in junk removal for 2 years now. I'm going in my second year right now, and I'm still I'm doing it part-time.
Okay.
And just learning. I like to learn. I'm a play football, so I like to be coached, so that's how I always see it as.
Okay. And for those of you guys not watching, Josie showed up right. He's got his company polo and ball cap on, right? It's literally little things like that separate. And I also love what you said, right? It's part-time right now. And I like that. I've talked about on the podcast in the past. I'll say it again. My journey, 7 years of doing it as a side hustle in some capacity. I had a deployment and the marriage and a divorce all mixed in there because, that's how we do things. And yet it wasn't like overnight sensation. Overnight I had it all figured out. So I'm 14 years into this hustle and learning along the way. So another thing, as you know, you've been listening to podcasts for a while. So one of the things we do towards the end of the episode is top takeaways. So I want to start here because it's good refresher for people listening and for people that maybe have skipped through the catalog and or for us. I always want to hear, right? We got a couple hundred hours of content out there. What resonates with you? What is it? Over the course of 70 episodes, however many you've listened to, what are some of those things that were like aha moments or the things that you remember or recall that we put out?
Man, I tell you, the one that really is, because I've been in junk removal for going on 2 years, is just learning basically talking about when to getting off the truck, and start working on your business instead of in your business, I thought that episode was real good because I was always wondering, man, how much shit do you have to make, whatever? And then when you said you make $10,000 a month, average a month, then that's when you should look to get out, look to get off your truck. Then 15,000 is when you should be starting to hire employees. That's for when quitting your job. It was an episode like that, and I'm like, okay, then. So then they gave me a target, okay, what I want to hit a month with me keeping my calculations on my jobs, and where I'm at is because now that I set a scale, okay, this is a goal. If I'm hitting 10,000 a month, then that should help me. That's when I should be leaving Centos where I currently work at and getting on my own. And when I hit 15,000 a month, now I should be looking for employees and hiring employees. And that was a real big one that I like, okay, because I was always asking questions like, man, when should you? Because what's a number that just to gauge and scale. So that right there was a real big one that I listened to a couple of times, just because I took notes on it and wrote down on it. Yep. And learning those things,
Well, and that's good.
There's a lot to say about it. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, I would say, one thing Casey always says is document everything. So even that, you listen to a whole episode podcast, right? If you don't have 2 or 3 things you write down that you're going to do different today, then why'd you spend an hour listening to the podcast?
Yeah.
Right? It's no different than you go to a networking event. If you leave a networking event without 2 or 3 actionable items, why'd you go to the networking event in the first place?
Right, definitely.
Go ahead, Casey.
Yeah, and I was going to say, there's a lot to say about. I like how he was saying he keeps track of things because you're already ahead of the curve. You'll be so surprised how many people are in your position, your time. I mean, 2 years, 1 year, whatever. But there's a lot out there that don't keep track of their own data. And I know you're part time now, but the cool thing is there's even ways of doing exactly what we're talking about doing and staying part time for now. So let's say you say, hey, I need to grow my junk business, but I have personal goals I'm trying to reach on my full-time job, like you had mentioned. Well, you can actually get into a position to hire a full-time guy who runs the show in your absence. I'm not saying it's going to be easy overnight, but there's a way to absolutely do that, especially if you're tracking everything now. Because we talked to a guy out of Vegas who was a part-time guy too. And we asked him, hey, when you get calls when you're working, what happens? And he goes, well, obviously I can't do that. And we brought up the fact that when you have that business that's kind of set up and structured in a good way, even if it's part-time, you can grab someone and say, hey, look, I got a few jobs popping up this week. And that's when you start hiring. It may be a part-time position, but you can have a guy in your absence doing stuff. And next thing you know it, you start transitioning yourself out of your full-time job and say, hey, I'm stepping out of my full-time job and stepping into my full-time career of junk removal. But yeah, I mean, track everything is obviously one of the main important things. It's funny, Andy, I was going through my old email when it was like from 2018. I was seeing these emails, and it's funny because I didn't even know how to talk on emails when I'm talking to like people, And I'm looking through all these old estimates and stuff and my replies. And it's cool to think about where I was in 2018 and how much I learned. And something as simple as an email, you evolve with, well, there's actually certain ways of speaking through email. And you don't really realize that in the beginning.
Yeah, you can find out about speaking through email in all of the written word in the Amazon best-selling book, Words Fucking Matter, Retrain Your Brain to Use Language That Serves You, available on Amazon and soon to be AndyWeins.com. There we go. Oh, Josie showed up the book. Casey hasn't even done that yet. I don't think he has a copy. That's
over here.
I know. I'm giving you shit. There we go. There we go. We're 6 minutes in. I already plugged my book. No big deal. Actually, speaking of, though, one thing you just said, emails and communication. Here's a 3-step process. I don't know if we talked about it on this podcast in the past, but I'm going to recap it. EIA. That is how I send emails. Email, text message. I've even learned how to do this in the spoken word with people. 3 sentences is all you need to get a reply. There it is. There's a copy. Did your wife hand it to you? Since you're feng shuiing in the office together?
No, it was. She goes, "It's right behind your computer." I was like,
oh. Shout out Monica, Rylan, and Levi. Shout out the Bubba Lawrence family. All right, EIA. Tease it a little bit. Excite, inform, ask. Mm-hmm. So I'll give you a really simple example, right? You meet someone at a networking event. You want to get time on their calendar, right? Excite. Hey, great to meet you at this networking event. Inform. I would love to get lunch with you sometime. Ask. When are you available for lunch?
Yeah.
Because what happens is a lot of times people will start with a question. Hey, can I get 15 minutes of your time? And then it's like, because I want to, it's like, no, you got to build it up. The other thing is, so that's the first part. Don't want to start with the ask. You want to start with the excite. You want to show you're motivated and then also inform. And what informing does is shows vulnerability. you're willing to show where you're at and where you want to go. Even if it's a job, for example, you say, Excite, hey, thanks for coming out to the quote, or thanks for letting me come out and quote your job, right? Inform them, look at your project. It's going to be 2 trailers, $1,500, right? Ask, when would you like to set this job up? Is that within your budget? Who else do you have to talk to get this approved? What timetable are you looking at? Ask some questions, because if you're just like, hey, here's your quote, crickets. And, there's plenty of times I've sent people a quote and be like, hey, when do you want to set this job up? And they're like, oh, that's way too expensive. And they'll say, all right, well, what's your budget? And if I tell them, like, for example, and this is how I used to do when I was first started, our trailers were $500 a piece. So let's do that. I would say, hey, it's $1,000 for 2 trailers. They'd be like, oh, that's too expensive. And I ask the question, here's the deal. If you ask, when do you want to set the job up? They won't answer that question if they don't want to. They'll say, hey, I ain't ready. Mm-hmm. Or no, that's too expensive. That ain't the question you ask. And yet they'll give you that information because you want to keep right. You want to be very active, right? And I'm
control the situation.
Control the situation. Right. Like let's get to it. Now, if I'm at $1,000, right? Let's say for 2 trailers, and someone's like, "Hey, I only have $800 to work with." First thing I'm going to say is, "Cool. What can you get rid of yourself? I would love to do this job with you, right? Excite. In order for me to do it with you, right? I got to be at 1 3/4 trailer, right? Is there 4 to 6 cubic yards you can get rid of? Like, what's easy for you to get rid of?" And then people come back and be like, oh, yeah, no, if I actually this bedroom set might go, I'm going to put it on Facebook Marketplace. Be like, cool. Right? When you get rid of that bedroom set, all right, we're going to be down to, right, $779 or whatever the price ends up being. And now you're working with them within their budget. Now, on the flip side, if someone's like, oh, I thought it'd be like $200, be like, cool. We got a lot of cost involved in our services, right? Excite. Right? Hey, thank you for the feedback. Inform. We have a lot of costs involved in our services, including labor, disposal, fuel. Right? Is this something you're still interested in pursuing? They say no. You say thank you, and you move out. The other thing I watch often is Shark. I love watching Shark Tank. If I haven't seen every episode, it's because I missed one on accident. Right? I've seen every episode. There is a huge difference when a shark goes out. People will respond one of 2 ways. They'll either be like, "Oh man, like you're getting out, like kind of what the fuck." They'll sound discouraged, or they'll be grateful. Like, hey, thank you for your feedback. Appreciate your honesty. When people are receptive to that first no, the other 4 sharks, that tells a lot to the other 4 sharks. Like, yeah, it's emotionally charged time. You're on national TV. Like, how do you show up? Do you show up appreciative? I tell people all the time, they're like, oh, hey, that's not in my budget. Hey, thanks for letting me know. Please consider us in the future. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not like, well, you have no fucking clue what it's like to run a junk removal company. I got expenses. Yeah. You suck. Right? Landfill fees are up. Fuel's fucking,
And sometimes you may be the first step in their information research. So
gathering, yeah.
I've had people call me back. Hey, I've called a couple other places, and you're actually right on cue with pricing. So I'd rather use you because you're a vet, or I'd rather use you because I like what you stand for. It's all about information. So sometimes they may get sticker shock, maybe because they just don't know the price of the industry rather than just you. Real quick, there's something I actually learned, the power of but, the word but, Andy, that you'd like this.
I hate the power. I hate the word but.
Right. So this was on a video I saw, a few months back, but it was like, hey, when you have news to deliver someone, especially with pricing, it's always about where the but is. Where do you put the but? So, for instance, I could say, hey, this job costs $5,000, right? Well, how am I going to present this to the customer? You need all this done, A, B, and C, but it's $5,000. That sounds like bad news. Or you flip it and say, all right, so for $5,000, you're going to get A, B, and C, right? And you just eliminate the but. If you want to put the but in there or an and, you say the job costs $5,000 and or but you get all of this stuff included. Yeah. Now, you didn't change anything except for where the but goes. Yep. People like to hear things that inform them, excite them, and don't piss them off. Now, price in our industry, price is always that sensitive subject because, hell, you look at the years since I started, since Andy started, how much a full trailer has gone up just to keep up with the economy. It's incredible, really. It's not relative to.
And in our market, it's 50%. I started at 500 7 years ago, and I'm at 750 for a full. So $499 to $749 in 7 years. So 50%.
And that's the thing, is you can't expect your clients and customers to know the market and the trends of it. The only thing you can do is inform them of what you do and inform them and excite them of what you do as well. And then say, hey, let's get this done. I have availability tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We'll be here 8:45 sharp. Yeah, it's all about information. The information is the biggest thing. I've lost jobs, and I've also gained more work just by giving information, and I lost jobs because I didn't give enough information.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's why I always like try to say is not every customer is my customer, you know.
Nope.
Even with job and bidding for jobs and everything like that. Some of them just like, oh, too expensive, and then they just say what does all consist of. I tell them it's proper transport, proper disposal of, and proper labor. You're not going to find your fence, because down here in Florida with the fence panels, you get some of these guys that will do 20 panels, and they're doing it for like $250. And I'm like, well, that panel, but somebody else going to call me because it's up in their woods. They're going to call me, and I'm going to charge them, you know. And I'm like, you know, that it's just sometimes you get those guys that don't. It's not fair to the market. They're lowballing the market where it's like, hey, I got to sit.
But that's also why you have to get resources. This is why you need back end resources. I'm telling you, fence panels. We got so many down here, obviously, because the South, the weather, you're going through fence panels. But the one thing I hated was doing a job like, for instance, styrofoam. Okay, do you know how quick you can fill up a trailer full of styrofoam blocks? Pretty quick. Right. And then you have to give the customer a price of, hey, it's going to be $700, and they're like, really?
It's 10 pounds.
So then you start to feel bad. You're like, well, I mean, price is the price, but then again, this is only like 10 pounds of shit. So we actually had a styrofoam recycler, and he was awesome. He took everything for free as long as it wasn't painted. So we could give a discount on the front end for items like that, because I get it, man. Like, we're not cleaning out a garage. Why should it cost the same as 10 pounds or a full trailer of styrofoam blocks? Fence panels, the same thing, man. We found a grinder, a guy that would grind up fence panels, and he would charge a flat rate no matter how much we brought. So we'd use that. And during storm season, brush and fence panels, we had sort of a special pricing list, because we get it, man. When your fence goes down, now you have to spend $8,000-$10,000 for a new fence. Disposal's a pain in the ass. So you just have to kind of keep up with that and build those back end resources.
Break this down for me, Barney style. Up here in the north, we don't have any. We don't talk about fence panels. You're just talking like 6-foot panels in between posts. What the hell? Or like individual pieces?
Yeah, like the whole.
Yeah, they come in panels, man. I mean, pickets. Like slats. Usually it's a 6x8 panel.
Yep.
All right. Okay. I know pickets. I'm like, you ain't going out there picking up one picket at a time. No. All right. So you're talking like a 6-foot by 8-foot section of fence that kick the bucket.
So now with me, I just come out, like when they call me and they ask me, I'll be flat out honest with them. I say, hey, for every 3 panels, $100. So like I told one guy, like, you know, every 3 panels, $100, and I think he had like 27 of them. He said, does the post in the blocks go with it? I said, yes, but every 3 panels, $100, and that's how now for me to get treated fair as pricing, because it's like some of them, they want you to pick up a whole bunch, and like I'm about to do 2 loads because I got a 16-foot trailer. I got 7-foot wide, 4-foot high walls, 16-foot long trailer, and I'm like, I'm about to get ready to do 2 loads for you. So I got to make sure my drive time on driving up there. So it came out to be like, I can't remember when I did math, like 27 panels. It was like, I want to say
you said
$900.
Yeah, $900 would have been that. Real quick, you said 7 by 14 by 4?
Mm-hmm. It's 7-foot wide, 4-foot high walls, and 16-foot long. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. 16.
Yeah.
How many cubic yards is your trailer? Do you know?
I haven't had it written down, and
times divide.
Time divide. So I just time divide, which I can look up. But
I see. This is something you got to know right offhand. This is one that you got to know. Hillbilly math. There we go. See, something's sticking.
Yeah.
Hillbilly math is one of the few things. I've been saying that for years, and all of a sudden with this podcast, it started sticking.
Oh, yeah,
people people are intimidated by numbers. That's true. I mean, you know your audience, right? We do junk removal, Jack. Right? I've explained that to people too. They're like, "Why is your industry the way it is?" I'm like, "We voluntarily pick up shit on the side of the road and in people's basements. Like that's what we're going after, right? Like,
yeah.
And Actually, this is the question I'm going to ask you in a minute. My girlfriend, she's been asking me the whole time we date, like, why do people get into junk removal? Like, to her, it's so foreign, right? She's like, I understand why you did it because you grew up doing it. But for her, she's like, why do people want to get in this industry? And it's not at first I took it as a challenge, and then I realized it's not a challenge. It's a genuinely, she doesn't know anybody that would want to do this kind of work. And yet I do it. I talk about it. I think about it constantly. So we're going to,
but the same could be said about what she does for you.
Oh yeah. I don't want to do marketing. I don't want to fucking create goddamn logos. It's different though, because people go to college. Yeah. People go to college to get a marketing degree. People don't go to college to get a junk removal degree.
No.
That's what I'm saying, right?
To answer Andy's question, Josie, it's 16.59.
5.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's what I got. That's what I got right here.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I had that mapped up.
I'll wait on y'all.
Okay, cool.
Right. So you gotta know. Here's the deal. You gotta know your competition. Like Big Blue, they're 14.3. Right. So if you want to say value, someone says, well, hey, their full trailer is $500. You're like, mine's $550. It's like, well, why is yours more? Well, mine's 2 cubic yards bigger. So that's one more couch or 2 more,
so
whatever.
Cheaper, but what you say it as is you're providing more value. That's how I would always throw it.
And it's one thing to say my trailer's larger, right? I never say my trailer's larger, right? I'm bigger. I just tell them the math, right? Hey, the other junk removal companies is 14.3 cubic yards. We're 16, and our price is slightly less or at the same. So either way, it's a greater value. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, and
people they do. But the thing is, there's transparency everywhere, right? The more real you are with people, the better off. I mean, we had that cat from the franchise a couple of weeks back on the podcast, and right on his website it said they recycle up to 70%. I go, cool. How much do you recycle? And he didn't have a clue. It's like, all right, well, right? Like, you got to be able to prove what you can prove. Like, I can prove how many mattresses I ship out because I got a manifest every other month when I ship out mattresses. Yeah. I know how much electronics I recycle. I know how much fucking scrap and scrap ferrous and non-ferrous I recycle. Right. So
it's so important to keep that data.
Yeah. And also, I know who I work with. I know the charities I donate furniture to. And I can tell you how often they're here and how much they take on average versus this blanket statement saying, oh, we're recycle. Or look what Casey said. Hey, I got a guy that shredded it. He also had a guy that took the styrofoam. He had a guy that took mattresses. He had a guy that took clothes. You go down the list of 5 or 6 things that you've diverted from the landfill, people stop asking questions versus saying, oh, we recycle what we can.
Yeah.
Well, then ain't telling me nothing.
So the one thing I always was very transparent about, people ask me this, and I'm sure you get this all the time. What do you do with the stuff that you pick up from jobs, right?
Yeah,
do you sell it? Do you donate it? And I say all of the above. And they go, oh, really? Well, I've also had other companies ask me if customers have had problems knowing that I sold their stuff. And I said, absolutely not. And here's why. I tell them, because this is the truth. The stuff that I sell will be up for an auction. Whatever we make from that auction pays for our overhead to ensure that shit does not end up in the landfill, whether it's being recycled or sold. You got
to pay for the building and the employees. It's a break-even analysis at best.
It really is. And that's the thing is they think you're a dealership just making cash from their stuff, right? But the truth of it is it's paying just enough to make sure it doesn't end up in the landfill. And they don't understand that, which is fine. I've never had pushback one time. I've always been transparent on what we do. Not one time has the customer said, oh, F that, I'm paying you to throw this away. Now, I have had jobs where it was a legality reason.
Yeah, like insurance.
Has to be picked up. Yeah, this has to be picked up and it has to be disposed of this way. And in that case, obviously, I'm going to do it because I have to.
Yeah, I remember that episode when you had to try to find somebody to dispose of. I guess you had the iron or whatever. It was something that was
radioactive waste.
The radioactive.
I'm like, what the world? If I get hold of that, I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, not a great thing. He called me. He's like,
I mean, everything.
Oh yeah, I remember he called me. He's like, hey, you're Red Crosses. I go, no, and I knew exactly what it was because I was like, yeah, is this what happened? He goes, that's exactly what happened. And he goes, what do I do about it? I was like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I was like, tell you what, I was like, you find the answer and you call me back. That's what you do.
Yeah. I will say this: you'll be surprised to know it all just ends up in a landfill. It's just annotated differently. Like, it goes to the same place.
No, it goes to landfill, but no. So I will say this. So same with asbestos, oil, any of that stuff. It goes to the landfill. It's just the liners are different, and they also keep it away from other stuff. So no, I know from working at Waste Management. So I used to run a biohazardous medical waste treatment facility. So all the like red sharps containers and red bags that are in hospitals and dentist office and everything else like that, we would process that waste and we would autoclave it. Once it was autoclaved, basically you cooked it, it went right to the landfill. And I remember the roll-off driver, he hated it because what it was when they would dump it, there was 2 stops that everyone hated when it got to the landfill. Cargill, which is a big meat processor here. I mean, they're a nationwide company, but we have a huge area in Milwaukee where they butcher animals, and their entire 30-yard compactor is full of bones. When they drop that load, and when they drop the medical waste load, the trash master comes by immediately and covers them up. Because otherwise what ends up happening is the seagulls go to try to pick through all that stuff.
Yeah,
and seagulls,
a lot of those.
Oh my God! Yeah. Right, they'll pick through anything. So, other than and that stuff there, that goes right to the top of the hill. There's nothing hazardous about it. And the other hazardous stuff, it just gets put in a different area. That's all.
Do you ever?
So this is actually a good thing for Josie. If you can do something where you can divert stuff from the landfill, especially at your stage in the business, you could use that for your marketing.
Huge.
They don't have to understand that you're part-time, not at all, but they can, and they need to understand why you're the best. So you can say, hey, look, this customer got rid of 200 fence panels after a storm, blew their shit down, whatever. And not only were we there on time when we picked it up, but we got to recycle it, and now it's going to be made into mulch or something like that. And people see that, and they're like, wow, you don't just throw shit away. You're not wasteful. Even though that is our job, you're doing it more responsibly. And you can use it in your marketing. I say this all the time because it was amazing. I did mattress campaigns. And I did the math, and I was like, I recycled this many mattresses, kept them out of landfill, and that equals this much per square foot or whatever. And then I even said, for that year, the U.S. threw away 40 million mattresses in 1 year. And that's equivalent to go around the entire globe almost twice, I think. And it was something crazy, but I gave them a visual. If you were to line up all the mattresses in a line, how many it is. And saying that even though we only saved 200 from the landfill, we're trying to do our part for the environment as well.
Okay. Real quick, Josie, where are you in Florida?
I'm in Brevard County, Florida.
Where is that?
Palm Bay, Brevard County. It's on the East Coast. On 95, or Palm Bay. I'm out of Palm Bay, Florida.
You guys, y'all go by counties. I think that's weird. All right, here we go. Right on junk removal. All right, so you got 75-star reviews.
Yeah.
It looks like you're right next to another junk removal company, wherever your address is. Okay, I'm looking at your. We haven't had. You know what, Casey? We haven't had a guest on recently.
No, they've all bailed on us for some reason or another.
No. But a junk removal operator guest.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like
we had a couple set up and they postponed because they're busy.
Yeah, they're cranking
Shit came
jobs.
up.
No, but again, I always like to look at where they located, and you're right up against the dang old water.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I do from Indian River County, Vero, all the way up to Mims. So I try to get like the
Mims. All right, so that's it. But you don't go inland, right? Because if you go inland, is there anything inland other than?
Nah, inland. Is like you going like to Kissimmee or Orlando? If you're going like to Kissimmee or Orlando.
Yeah, but that's a ways away. Like you're not. You're not. So you basically just run that 95 corridor from.
Yes.
Vero Beach up to Mims.
Yep. I do all of them. That's basically what
I just. Cool. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few junk roll companies right right near you. Well, yeah, if you're cutting it up and you got it going on. Yeah, I mean, you with your 70 reviews, you're you're more than most of the competitors. You got the College Hunks is the big player in that town.
Yeah, they are. They are. And I mean, I remember listening to one. I mean, and them guys don't look different the way we look, you know, especially with, like, I seen one of them with shirt off and just driving around, you know, like, what in the world? Like, you know, so it's like, look at those guys, like, what in the world? So
yeah.
They're just like normal than us. But the thing is, though, they got that, like the truck that, you know, the NPR truck that they ride in. Some of them,
yeah.
Do, you know.
What kind of equipment are you running?
I got my pickup truck. Yeah, and the trailer.
Okay. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, is that a dump trailer? The dual axle?
No, it's not a dump trailer. It's a
so
cargo trailer that I hand unload.
Got it. And are you flying solo or?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Or do you got a helper? You flying solo or you got a helper?
Sometimes I get a helper. They help me out with the bigger jobs and everything. I do. Like, we actually put walls up on the trailer, you know, the way the building and everything. Because you see the beginning and all that, and put signs. Because I try to keep my overhead low. Starting off as a jump move, I try not to spend like, you know, to go get like a dump trailer, you know. But the only thing is be loading it up, but the hand unloading this ain't that bad. Cause like I said, we'll load it up. If me and my helper get my girlfriend brother, he helps me out some days because he'll be off on Friday and Saturday with me. If he got a lot of jobs, we'll bang out jobs. And sometimes
don't piss her off because then you lose an employee out of that.
Yeah. But then I got my son. He'll help me out some days, you know. He'll help me out some days. And then, go ahead. Sorry.
I say, I'm looking at your pricing. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
That's what I was talking to you about when I had called you. And we were saying
you fix it?
Talk about it.
All right, let's fix it right now. All right, let's
take a look.
Also, your Dango, it says your trailer is equivalent to 10 cubic yards on your website.
I know I had it wrong, so I need to go change that to 16.
Hey, what's your website?
And you know what? Upgrade it to 17 because it's 16.59. That sounds like 17. Right on junkremoval.com. Just type in right on junk removal, Palm Bay, 2 words, Florida, you'll get it. All right. So here is why, for our listeners that don't know, here's why his pricing, I don't like it. It's $125 for a single, $175 for a quarter, $275 for a half, $325 for a 3/4, $425 for a full, and then $475 for the full plus the bed of the trailer. So I'm going to do some hillbilly math here and tell you why I don't like it. That's it. I'm going to do it off of 16 cubic yards because it makes it simpler math.
By the way, just to put this out there for everyone listening, I have never, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, I've never added extra or not if I used the bed of my truck. The bed of my truck, honestly, was just for my equipment. If I needed it, obviously I would use it. But I honestly never used it for or I never included it as a space.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't know if it's right or wrong. Me personally, I never saw any issues with it. It's my job to make sure I fit everything in a full trailer. And if I can't, if I had that little extra that I could throw in the bed of the truck, I'm not going to charge the customer extra for that because, hey, we both win out of that anyways. Plus, I think you're good with $475 for a full trailer or more, actually. Just based on the hillbilly math Andy's about to hit us with.
Dude, I'm gonna hit with such fucking hard hillbilly math. All right, it already ain't checking out, so that's fine, and that's what I already anticipated. All right, so there's 2 numbers I look at here. Okay. I look at what is your price per cubic yard at the different price points, and also what is your price per cubic yard at the different price points once you pick up 1 cubic yard.
Yeah.
So what I do is I put $100 in as the base. It costs you $100 to show up. If you pick up one thing, it's $100 to show up and $25 for that first cubic yard. Okay, is that tracking?
So $100 pick up, and then $25 a base.
Yeah, because that's what your pricing is. Yeah. This is your pricing.
Okay. Right.
But, yeah, because you already told me that your what the fuck? Of course, now I got Dango doesn't like my numbers. Hold on.
Dang on.
You know what it is? I started putting numbers in, and they want to say that these are dates, and they're not dates. 1/4 is 1/4. Anyways, because I'm going to send this to you at the end here.
Okay.
What you say here. All right. So here's what I'm saying. If you say that you are $125 for a single item pickup, what that tells me is you're charging $100 to show up and $25 for that first cubic yard. That's what I got. Mm-hmm. That's how I'm tracking that. Okay. Right. And then you have a full trailer plus the truck bed. I always put the truck bed down for a quarter trailer because you can stack it higher. That's again the hillbilly math. Right. So I'm gonna put that down for 20 cubic yards. Right. So your single item after the $100 show up fee, you're charging $20 a cubic yard. And then your quarter trailer, you're charging $18.75. Your half trailer, you're charging $21. 3/4, you're back to $18.75. Full trailer, you're at $20. And your full plus a quarter trailer, you're back to $18.75 a cubic yard. You somehow, you jacked it all up. Basically, what you're telling people is it's most cost effective for them to buy a quarter trailer, 3/4 trailer, or a full plus a plus a pickup bed. Your full trailer price is too expensive, and your half trailer price is too expensive. And what's interesting about that is, typically half trailers are one of your top SKUs. 3/4 trailers are not. It's like you're de-incentivizing people to have more. They'd be better off getting, a 3/4 trailer per cubic yard than a half trailer or a full trailer. It's interesting.
So what was the full trailer again?
Full trailer is 4 1/4. And it's $20. Yep. So my argument
for 16 cubic yards.
Yep.
Okay, so now here's why it sounds expensive, because you're basing it off the minimum. The minimum.
But if you do it the other way, it's $43 a cubic yards for a quarter, $34 for a half, $27 for a 3/4, and $26 for a full.
Yeah.
And then $23 for a full plus a quarter trailer. So there's some cost savings there. The number should or needs to go down the whole way because, well, it doesn't need to, I suppose, but that is to your customer's advantage to getting more.
I will say that the trailers I was running were all 16 yards, except if I had one that was 18 yard. And maybe Texas and Florida are different when it comes to the economies, but I would assume being on the coast like that, you have some good demographics to where you can do an entire price raise across the board. And like let's say we narrow this down and you get your per yard to a steady increase or a steady decrease, whatever. I think you could actually raise your prices. So instead of doing $425 a full trailer, you could be more in like the $550 range, and then scale from there. Keep your minimum the same, because you still want people to know, hey, if I'm there, let's make it worth your time. Let's go from minimum to a quarter trailer or minimum to a half.
Yeah.
And going back to what Andy said, keeping track of your average jobs is important, because you have to know, as the business owner, where's your break even? The minute you start that truck, how much money are you going to be spending that day, regardless if you do a job or not, because that helps you gauge what do you actually want more of. Do you want a bunch of full trailers because you can only do so many in a day with your setup and your in your personnel, or can you get more value by doing a couple of quarter trailers and then maybe 2 halves? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a different ways of looking at it. For us, we wanted to average above half a trailer every day per truck, per job. I mean, and
so instead of having the quarter price, just have a half price.
No. Keep the quarter price. But, absolutely.
Yeah.
But incentivize them. To go up.
Okay.
Like, for instance, I'll give you for instance. So my quarter trailer price was $275. My half trailer price was $350. My 3/4 price was like $495, and then my full trailer price was like $605 at one point. I forgot. I mean, I could be off a little bit, but it was pretty much like, if I come back for 4 quarter trailers, it's going to cost you over $1,000. But if I get it all done right now, you're only paying $600. So I'm giving them that value. And I made the scale to where per yard was a consistent number. So that way it didn't seem like I was gouging at any quarter of the trailer. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah. So right now in your pricing, is there any part of your pricing you don't like, or that isn't working?
That half isn't working. I don't think that half. Like a lot of people be like, oh well, I might as well get the 325. You know what I'm saying? And instead of that, you know, when they get to a half level, I just go 325. You know, and that's why that's when I called you and talked to you about the pricing, and you're like, we'll talk about it. You know. Well,
no, I mean, if people have more stuff, and you going from 275 to 325 because. Right, that's the other thing. When I look at it, I want my price per cubic yard to be the same across the board, and then plus the minimum. Right, that's where my brain goes because it costs me the same to process it. Now, what you're doing is you're essentially have a high price for the half trailer because you want people to do 3/4 trailers. That's what your pricing is telling me. Well, whether or not that was your plan or not, obviously you're already telling me your customers are responding to that by saying, "Well, shit, for $50 more, I might as well get a 3/4 trailer. What else can I get rid of?" And if that's the case, you might look like a genius. You know, the challenge is you're only making $18.75 per cubic yard after the first 100 at the 3/4 trailer price, which might be the case. If you wanted fair pricing, or not fair pricing, if you wanted the same pricing per cubic yard across the board, your pricing would be $125 for the minimum because it would be normally $118.75, but we're going to do $125. And then it would be $175, $250, which is a change, $325, $400, and then $475. And then you have $18.75 per cubic yard after the first $100, and your price per cubic yard goes down over time. It's $43 a cubic yard for a quarter trailer, while it's only $25 per cubic yard for a full.
See, I scaled down going up, but my quarter trailer was like 57. Well, you got to look at what works for you, but you need to have it to where it incentivizes them to use the better deal, right? Hey, instead of a quarter trailer, they want to use half. You know, so what he's saying is your quarter trailer needs to seem expensive per cubic yard, right?
Okay.
Because is it worth your time to go do a bunch of quarter trailers? And if you're going to do them, you need to make sure you're compensated for that quarter trailer.
Gotcha.
The last thing you want to do is to do a bunch of quarter trailers, right?
Right.
That's a lot of driving around for little.
Well, that's why like our 3/4 trailer price. Our 3/4 trailer has always been our lowest price or our least used SKU.
Yeah. Okay. Half and full was.
I love half trailers, especially if a pickup truck, because you could do two halves. Like right now, if you did two halves, if you brought your pricing to $250 for your half, you can do two halves for $500 versus one full for $400. The downside is when you go do a 3/4 trailer, you can't go do another job typically, unless you got a single item or a quarter trailer that fits just right.
Right.
See what I did there?
See, I was at $57 a yard at my quarter trailer price.
Yeah.
And my full trailer price was $43.
Yeah. Yeah, so your quarter trailer was $229?
$275.
$275? For a quarter trailer? You're at more than $57 a cubic yard then. You're at $68 a cubic yard.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. 4.5. I was doing the wrong trailer. I had an 18-yard trailer too.
Oh, yeah.
That's $61 a yard.
Yeah.
So the quarter trailer price was very steep.
Yeah. I'm at $279 for. Well, I'm at $279 for a quarter. And that's again, I've been in this market for a while, and I'm competitive. Right. I know, like I'm at $125, $124 for a single item. My 800 got junks at $139. And then by the time we get to up to full trailer or full truck, whatever, we're about the same price. The thing is, 800 got $124.
Okay.
I was at $99 for the first 6 years in business.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The challenge is single items. Single items, they're almost not worth it sometimes.
They're not. They're really.
Nah.
They're.
I mean,
It's
they
like
always call.
I mean,
yeah.
you got to look at what are you going to offer a single item? Well, yeah, you kind of have to. It's like the landscape company that wants to do a bunch of installs, but they have a lawnmower. Do they mow grass? Yeah. Do they want to? No.
Get them in the door.
Sometimes they call me for a single item. And if it's, when it's nearby or whatever, I can go get it. And I try let's say if I do a mattress removal, I say, hey, $60. By the time when I get there, they don't add the dresser and all that. So now we start getting to the bulk price, And then when they do that, because I'll be like, oh, now we're in a bulk price because you got more than 3 items.
Yeah, get your foot in the door.
Yeah, so what? So what do you want your? It doesn't matter what Casey and I think at this point. Right, what do you want your price? What is the priority of your pricing right now? Are you looking to increase your margin? Are you looking to create greater value? Are you looking to maximize what you're selling the most of? What does success look like to you for your pricing?
Value is my most important thing to me. Is value, showing value with my prices. Because I'm not chasing prices because I don't want to never be the cheapest guy around. Am I answering the question right? And value my price. They see the value with the work that I'm doing. That's what they get because that's what I try to show how valuable I am. Because when you call me, I'm solving a problem for you. I don't ever want to be the guy that it's call this guy because he's the cheapest. You get what I'm saying with some of the guys because then I'm working for nothing. You kind of get what I'm saying. I want to show, hey, when you call, hey, and that's why when you read some of my reviews, you don't get many that says about price. They tell them I'm personable, I'm on time, get the job.
Yeah, pricing should never be
and that's not
the only factor.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously everybody's best customer is how much do I owe you, not how much does it cost, right?
Correct.
Yep.
And I got some customers that's like that. Like, hey, we keep on calling. No matter, hey, Jozies, just get the job done. I know you're gonna get it done in that for me. And I tell them the price, okay, and then they're the ones be the repeat businesses for me. Also, where I get repeat business from customers that's not looking for the price. They're like, hey, he's on time, he's personal. When I call him, hey, he's good old Jozies. He got, what's on his website is what he's gonna charge. And then they tell other people like he don't hide nothing. He's not gonna stick anything else to you. What he says, he's always, because I'm a man of my word. What I tell you is what it is. So that's why I show my prices. But then, like I said, when I called you, Andy, about a couple months ago, we were talking about prices. I was like, you're like, hey, we're gonna jump on. I'm gonna help you with that. So most thing I want to show value, how valuable I am to you. I'm here to solve a problem.
Yeah, if that's the case, I would change your pricing so your price per cubic yard is consistent throughout.
Okay.
That'd be my argument. Because if you want to show value, then you can explain it real easy to people, right? Because right now, some people are saying, well, shit, if it's $275, why wouldn't I go to, why would I pay $275 for a quart or for a half when I can get $325 for a full? So with that said, would you rather bring your prices up and match or down and match? Like, 70 reviews, you have the second most reviews in your market, which is a pretty good indication, right? Do you like that $325 price at a 3/4 trailer, or do you like that $275 price at a half trailer more?
I like that $275 at the half trailer.
Okay, all right, that's fine. So basically, what we want to do then is bring up your pricing, so it's about $22 per cubic yard. There's nothing to that. That's a easy day exercise I'll do right now. And we go right from there. That's as simple as I can make it.
Another thing, I don't know if you've done this, Josie, but I've been looking at all the surrounding area junk removal companies for you, and it's very inconsistent as far as their look, their operations, their websites. You either have one that's an outstanding website, and then you have a couple that are just like, hey, I just learned how to do WordPress yesterday. Now I'm figuring it out. But I will say there's one thing that I see as a common thing that you do differently. They don't have their prices on their websites. And I find that interesting because I think you're the only one that does that. And I don't know if you've noticed that. I'm not saying it's good or bad either way.
Yeah, I never kind of looked at their website like that. I seen some of them.
Always look at other people's websites. You might take something. You might see something there that you like and you want to implement in your own. Yeah, absolutely.
How much have we learned from Junk King's website?
Okay,
100%. No, I mean every time we have a junk roll operator on here, I look at your website because there might be something on your website where I'm like, oh shit, this is pretty dope, right? Okay. Like you have your items. You almost look superimposed on your picture when you're standing next to your trailer, just because the lighting is weird. But like, I thought you were fake. I was like, that ain't him. It's just funny. Also, I like the fact that. Yeah, I mean, you also. I mean, shit. You have also furniture review by the price. You got $100 for armoire, $150 for a bedroom set, $60 for a box spring. I'll be honest. I think that's way too many price points.
Okay.
Right. Your single item's got to be like you said. A sofa chair is $50. Like by the time you show up, pick up a chair for $50, you're not making any money. Now, the only three things that we have special pricing for in our business that are quasi single items: hot tub, piano, pool table. That's it.
Okay. Oh, fucking pool tables.
Right? Because like a swing set ain't a fucking single item. But like I'm looking like you had desk removal, couch removal. Oh, I'm sorry, sectional. Sectional is the other thing. And we have sectionals because a sectional couch is not a single item.
No.
Right? I like the fact you have you have a 2-piece sectional and a 3-piece sectional. I like that on your pricing. But like you had chest removal with mirror. Like you're gonna charge another $25 for the mirror? Come on now. Just chest, you know what I mean? Like you're giving too much. You're giving people some reason to not call you. Okay. Or like TV stand / entertainment center, $50 to $175. I guarantee you, every single person thinks they have a $50 removal, not a $175 removal. And we all know that one little TV stand versus like a 3-4 piece. You know, we get the stand with the 2 side pieces and the fucking top piece. We all know it's different. I would just say furniture removal and highlight a couple things like a couch is this, sectional is this, but you got a love seat, you got a dresser, you got a chest, you got a mattress, you got a recliner. You keep saying the same thing,
right? Yeah, because they keep on asking. Like some people that call, they'll call and just ask for those particular items only.
That's fine. Let them ask, but at least they call it. Then you're having a conversation with them.
Okay, then.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
I like the fact, like exercise equipment. I like the fact you list them, but you listen to all these individual prices. I would just sit here and try to shop my own job. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or like here, appliances. Like you might as well just say $55 for. I mean, you got air conditioner $85, dishwasher at $55, dryer at $55, $60 for. Man, appliance removal starts at $55. Done. Okay. This is what we take.
Okay. All right. Then. Okay.
I mean, this looks like a McDonald's menu where it's like, all right, I want to give me a deck removal with a side of freezer removal.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say it starts at $125. I mean, an appliance is a single item. I would. Hey, you know what? Appliance, they start at $125. If it's a microwave, it's $125. Obviously, they don't want to spend $125 on a microwave, so they're going to get creative and get more stuff. But the other thing I was noticing is go down to your light demolition and removal. This could get you in trouble. This could hurt you. Above ground pool removal, $425 plus tax, right?
No, plus. He's saying plus, like starts almost like plus. Starts at plus.
So why is that the same price as a shed removal and a swing? So the reason why I don't like it, it's not that it's wrong. It's just that I'm going to hold you to that number, no matter how bad your day goes, no matter how shitty it is. I'm going to say, well, your website says $425. The same thing with hot tubs. Now, here's what I learned with hot tubs. I had 3 sets of pricing for hot tubs, right? And I did a small hot tub, which was 4 to 6 seats, a medium hot tub, which was 6 to 8, and then a large hot tub, which was 8 and above, usually 8 to 12. My large hot tub was like $600. It was insane, but it's also a pain in the ass. And I'd make sure that these hot tub prices were not just consistent with my pricing, but it made sure that no matter what size it was accounted for. Just like if you have a hot tub that's in a deck, a lot of times they don't want you to take the deck. Hey, the hot tub's bad. We're getting a new one. We want this one gone. Now you have to sit there and be like, how are we going to get this hot tub out of this deck And what are we going to use?
Right.
It's going to take us a while, and I'm only getting paid the same as if I could just snatch it off the street.
Gotcha.
So we're not shitting on you as much as we're just trying to say, hey, look, these are things we're noticing.
Definitely.
It's stuff to consider because you have to understand your client is not you. Your customer is not you. I was asked this by our old franchise that we were part of. The franchisor asked me, isn't this a great company? Wouldn't you use this? And I said no. And he looked at me with disgust. He's like, you wouldn't use this company? And I said, absolutely not, because I was raised in the country. We could take care of our own shit. But I also learned that you don't need to be your own customer to have a good, successful business. You just have to know who your customer is, right?
Yeah.
So,
speaking of a franchisee out of the Midwest, we'll call it, reach out to me this morning, advocate of the show. First question, how do I get out of my franchise agreement? So, throwing it out there. This is, right, I report the news. I report the facts.
DeVoe.
Oh, really? I like Steve DeVoe. He's down there in Florida. Is he doing the drum roll game still?
No, he's a real estate
he's a dealer. What's interesting is, and one of the reasons why we first started this, podcast was to give away all the answers for free so people don't get stuck into really bad franchise agreements.
Right.
So there's that. So when we sling mud, it's with reason. We sling because we care. And I'm also reporting the facts. I'm reporting facts, Jack. So it's about like 2 or 3 a month that are in the process of closing. So I'm not saying 2 or 3 a month close. However, it's like 2 or 3 a month are in the process of closing on any given month.
Gotcha.
If not more. Pretty high failure rate. Unhappyfranchisee.com if you would like to read more about what we're talking about. You too can get in the know. Again, not official sponsor.
Right.
All right. Josie, can you rotate? So for those of you guys watching at home, Josie's camera's been crooked for like a half hour. And then there he is. Our producer was like, tell Josie to fix it. There you go. See? Now you can know I'm listening. I'm reading the chat. All right. So pricing. You like your $275 price. Do you like to end with a 5 or a 9?
That's a good question.
Or a whole number. A 0, a 5, or a 9.
Preference.
Or no preference.
No preference. Why do you ask that?
All my prices always have ended in 9. So when I first started, it was $99, $199, $299, $399, $499. Now I'm at like $279, $429, $589, and $749, and $124. $129 sounds too high. And a 4. And a 4. All right, so you have no preference.
I like 5 is my favorite number, but I mean, like I said, though, no preference with me.
So it's psychology. That's all it is, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I say, hey,
5.
Yeah. So if I say this is $99, do you think it's a better deal than $100?
Yes.
It's a dollar difference, right? But the 99 looks more attractive than 100.
99, yeah.
Yeah. Just like 95 looks better than 100. I mean, there's all kinds of psychology you can dig into. Yeah. So in Texas, our state sales tax is 8.25%, and I know what
service tax. Y'all don't have not your sales tax, your service tax.
No, we have sales tax. It's called Texas state sales tax.
Oh, well, I would say you also have service tax.
No, not down here. That's literally what it's called. That's
I know, but you guys don't you guys have service tax? That's like you had to put tax on your services, didn't you?
No, we had to do sales tax. Texas state sales tax. I think some counties or cities implement service tax with restaurants, but I mean, for us it was. But I will say also we looked into non-taxable services. So, for instance, if you're recycling something, you don't have to charge tax because you don't have to pay taxes on it. So brush, I mean, anything you recycle, as long as you can show record that you recycled it, it is not taxable. Same thing with labor, same thing with hauling A to B, not taxable. So we started learning that quick. Our first year in business, by the way, we didn't know we had to charge sales tax. The second year, we had to pay a big old check to the state.
Big old check. Big old check. That's how they like to do them. They like their big old checks.
But the cool thing was, you talk to some of your clients or customers, and a brush haul off was huge. It's huge down here. And the one thing I'd always tell them is, hey, this is a flat rate. There's no tax because we recycle it. And that it goes a long way. It goes further than you think.
So here's the price I came up with you. I based it off of, so you liked your $275 price, which is $21.87 per. Okay, so based off of that, I want to make sure that your price goes down in descending order thereafter, for the most part. Let me just
wait. 275 was the what price for what size?
A half.
275 for a half. For the half.
I don't know why I still think it's low. I don't know.
275 for a half? It's not low considering his full trailer is 445 or 425 right now.
That's true. I think the lowest we ever were was 300. That was the year one. We were at 299 for a half, and then the next year we immediately went up to 365 or 360 for a half, and that's at a 16-yard trailer.
Here's what I come up with.
16.5-yard trailer.
Yeah. Here's what I come up with. 125 for your single. 195 for your quarter. $20 more.
Okay.
Your half is the 175 that you wanted, or as you were 275 that you wanted. The 3/4 is 320. How did I come out with? No, 365. That's $40 more. You knew that one was underpriced.
Right.
Full trailer's at $455 for a full.
Okay.
And then your full trailer plus the back is $525.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the quarter trailer again? 195.
195.
And then show up.
And this is
out of 120.
So what it is your price per cubic yard goes down at every price point. So your most expensive cubic yard. So you're at $25 a cubic yard for the single item. You're at 23.75 at the quarter, and then it goes down to 21.25 at your plus your pickup truck price.
Okay.
Because we based everything off of your half trailer at 275. That was the flex point.
And then the minimum is still 125?
Yep.
Or 120?
Yep. 125 because you like fives. Let's see what I did wrong there. Actually, I'm gonna make it 350. Make it 355 and 445.
355 and 445 for the 3/4.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. 355 and 445. Okay.
Yep. And again, this isn't huge in your
more. And then, with that quarter with the 1/4, that's off of 20. You said 22. Is that 22 cubic or 21 cubic?
23 and 3/4.
Yep.
So 22.75.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yep.
And my question, Andy, since I'm in August right now, would it be smart for me just to wait to January to change it to that? Because I've been riding. Because my numbers right now from last year, I'm up. Like last month, I did 8,600, which was the most I did in a month. And my average right now that I average is that's from January to now. Well, I always do it monthly to July because I got to still finish August. I average $5,000 a month compared to last year. I averaged like $2,500 a month.
Yeah, I mean,
so your price is not going to change your business intake, though.
No,
right, right. So what would you suggest? Should I do it now or just wait?
I would right size. The thing is, you're not increasing your pricing; you're right sizing it. Right, you're not doing like one. Right, you're not changing your single item. You're not changing your half. you're right sizing the other pricing. This is if I was you, what I would do. I'd implement these new prices, put them on your website. For all your existing customers, you don't change it. You keep them with old pricing through the end of the year. And then you tell them like, hey, January 1, all pricing changes. Now, if you put out this pricing and this little bit of pricing, $20, $30 per cubic yard or per jump up changes, then maybe you reevaluate it.
I don't think you'll have an issue.
I don't think you have an issue. No,
because and then with that full trailer is at $445. And the full trailer plus the bed of the pickup truck. Should that be at $525 then? Is that what you were saying?
I'm at $525 on that because that was underpriced before.
Yeah, that's what I want to make sure. Okay.
So, Josie, remember the other thing that you have going for you. This is part time right now. So,
yes,
if you were getting 20 calls a day and you had multiple crews and a lot of repeat customers, and then one day you just decided to change your prices, you may get some phone calls saying, "Hey, what the hell?" But right now you're very you're consistently part-time, and the customers that you do have still that are repeats, have them say, hey, look, I'm going to honor the same pricing at the end of the year. But the other thing is I've never had any negative feedback from raising prices when I've done it.
Okay.
Because you have to look at everything that affects your business and what their prices look like. So trailer prices, tire prices, gas. I mean, everything revolves.
Right.
Look at everything that your company revolves around. If those prices are going up and you're not, you're actually making way less money at the current price.
Okay.
The other thing that I wanted to say is, a lot of people that are in this situation of part-time or even year one full-time, they don't like having a standardized pricing because they're afraid of losing customers. But the fact is, pricing, this isn't drastic change, but regular pricing won't scare away or bring in more customers. It's all about the marketing, right? That's what brings in customers. That's what tells people you even exist. Your prices are just a byproduct. They're calling you because they already have a need. And that's the other thing is, if they have an issue with your pricing, find out what the issue is, and maybe they just don't have all the information, right?
Gotcha. Right. Definitely. Especially with the cubic yard now.
Because I still think you're low. Andy and I, we're not agreeing here. I still think you're low. But that's why I don't think you'll have any issues here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you're low. I'm not disagreeing with that. I asked him where he wanted to start his pricing. He said $275. Yeah. That's what I went off of. If he'd have been like, no, I need to charge more, I might have adjusted.
But at least it's consistent.
Yeah, now you're consistent. Yeah. And again, if you had 10 reviews and a 4.5 star rating, I'd be like, hey, your competition is eating you up. Right now, there's only one competitor in your market that has more reviews than you, right? And you got a perfect 5-star rating, so it's like, go with it.
Yeah. And you're not one of the big three, so you got that going for you too.
Yeah.
Do you have labor charge? Or do you have labor pricing at all when you do labor only?
I do the labor. I don't have the labor pricing. No, I don't. I do the labor. I'm a one-man show.
So I would look into it. I would look into having some labor pricing. So Andy and I both, when we price out our trailers, it comes with a time limit per quarter. Because that hits your bottom line, right? You don't want to spend an hour doing a quarter trailer. So you look at implementing a labor charge that tax on after a certain amount of trailer space. Like for instance, I did $150 an hour for 2 guys, and I told everybody you get 30 minutes per quarter. So quarter trailer, you get 30 minutes of labor, and then half trailer, you get an hour, so on and so forth. Cool thing is, for the majority of jobs, you'll get a quarter trailer done in less than 30 minutes, and you'll get a full trailer done in 2 hours or less. So the customer doesn't really have to worry about paying that labor charge. It's mainly for you to cover your ass in case you're at a job that's like, wow, this is a 3-hour half trailer job. You have to be compensated for that.
Right, definitely. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't got to the point where I'm hiring. I'm just like what I learned today. Like, think about hiring just somebody, that's part time. Just from what I learned today. You know what I'm saying? And because like me running, because sometimes when I got to schedule the jobs out, let's say if they call me right today and they want somebody today, I'll have to be like, I'm doing it after like 5 7. That's when I get off my other job, and then I run and go bang out that job. Cause that's what I do most of the time. I do like at 5 7 in the afternoon, and because the sunlight here, and I go and bang out the job. But then sometimes I bites me in the butt because then when I'm about to go over there, they'll call me, "Hey, we don't need you. We got it taken care of already." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then I change my mind. So then they end up hurting me right there. It's like, oh man.
Well, because they've already
I was on my way.
Look at it from their place. They have been. It's taken years for them to finally clean out that garage or clean out that attic.
Right.
Now they just want it gone. The last thing they want to do is wait longer for it. So
right.
It's a very fickle industry, I think.
Yeah. So it'd be hit or miss with that, and then that's one thing. But me being open on Sundays also is good because I go to the dump. There's a dump that's open on Sundays, so if I want to get rid of like a full trailer, I go and do that on Sunday. So that gets me a lot of business where like, oh, you're open on Sunday. You're the only one around our area that's open on Sunday, and I call that VIP day. So.
Hey, you know what? Go where your competition ain't. If Sundays is the way you can corner a certain part of the market, God bless.
Especially if you have disposal options.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's one of the reasons we always wanted a full day of reprieve, but yeah, we don't have any disposal facilities that are open past noon on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. But I give you thanks though, Andy. When I listen to you on Sonoma Strong talking about the scrap metal and all that and scrapping and everything, I did start doing that more. Me and my girl brother, we started doing it where I also bought a storage unit, a 10 by 30 storage unit. I got a real good deal on it. It's like 100. It comes out to be it's 165, but after taxes come out to be like 192 a month. Yeah. So now we put all our scrap up in there, and it saves up because now we get money back, and then we're not going to the dump like as much. Like we just had like some aluminums, a bunch of aluminums from a boat where people took off like the pipe and the just things aluminum. We like took it to we had that. We like that looked like candy in the candy store. Like, oh, Sam, they're paying us to go take this, And then, that
was a good episode of Sonoma I was on. They wanted to talk copper and scrap, and I'm always I love talking scrap. That's always the key.
And because of that, like I said, even with me setting it up in my storage unit, and we're still learning. The guy I talked to the people at the scrapyard. We got a guy. He says he's gonna come over and show us to separate it, to make sure with the wires and everything like that. He'll even help us set my storage unit up as in doing it. So we took. Yeah. So we still learning on that part right there.
I appreciate you saying that because I'll tell people when you go to a scrapyard, you take a couple loads in, and you act decent, they'll help you out. They want you to bring in the best, highest quality stuff as possible because it makes their job that much simpler.
Correct. Yeah. So
no, all good.
Yeah, we've been doing so I thank you on that one though. So that was real good, and that also helps me pay my brother or my kid. They come out there, my son, and be like, "Hey, here you go," and they be all excited about it, Where now they'll see something, they're like, "Hey, Josie, I seen some scrap metal somewhere. Can we go get it? Yeah, let's go get it." So we'll go do it. So now they get excited about it. So
that's awesome. That's how I started. I started where scrap was the only game I played. So junk removal came way after the fact, So no, that excites me.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
thank you guys, though, man.
Yeah. All right. Let's get around the horn here. Top takeaway from today. Start with you, Casey.
Top takeaway is make sure you have consistent pricing, and obviously don't race to the bottom, but make sure that your customer has all the information as well. So consistent pricing and a well-informed customer.
I like it. Josie.
The 3-step process, EIA, cite, inform, and ask, and like I said, though, at site, when I tell them great to meet, because my personality, I'm a real smiling guy. I'm a real happy go-getter guy, and then, that kind of, and then, just to sit down and talk to, because me going to the groups and the Chamber of Commerce and all those that y'all said on your podcast, I actually started doing it. I actually today had breakfast with a banker guy from one of the groups just to talk business. He wanted to tell me how business is with a bank, so and just asking questions, and especially with the customers also, hey, when would you like it done? where it's located. Because sometimes they get to the prices. They're like, hey, what's the price of this? Well, hey, how about we find out where it's at, where it's located? Is it in the garage? Is it downstairs? Out by the road? You know, and just asking questions before I get to that price and just tell them, because sometimes, you know, yeah, but that's most man takeaway. And QBRs, you know, just being able to feed them information about QBR. Hey, this much for this per QBR. The competitor is at this. I'm actually at this. So that gives me more information compared to me saying, hey, take care of transportation and proper disposal. Now it's like, hey, this is this much QBR. You can call 1-800-GOT-JUNK. You'll see how they're this, you know, and hey, you can fit more. So it helped me sell more. Hey, this is the reason why, because I got two extra. I'm 2 extra foot long, and now you can just put a couch right there, you know, and you're paying this much. So it look like I'm paying, you know what I'm saying? Look like I'm cheaper. And, well, I don't want to say cheaper because I don't want to be with it, but look like they're getting more bang for their bucks right then and there as me showing value to them, you know. But definitely EIA is basically site. It goes more with me to cite, inform, and ask. That's kind of like what I'm always trying to be like, you know. So that's
I like it. My top takeaway. I was thinking about this when you brought that up. Like, you called me like out of the blue like 2-3 months ago, and we just started rapping about God knows what. I was like, who is this? And I was like, all right, cool. And then even this morning, I had a cat. You know, one of the cats from J-Dog reached out to me. He's like, hey man, I'm listening to your podcast. I want to get out of this franchise agreement. You know, I hear a lot of things. It just furthermore that there are people that want to do the right thing. They want to bring up their business and be more professional. Like you said, you went from averaging $2,000-$3,000 a month to $5,000 a month to having an $8,600 a month. Like, you are continually on that trajectory, and it's good to hear from where you're at because you're able to serve more customers and eventually bring in your son and bring in your brother and your wife and everybody else to build that generational wealth, to have a business, not a job. And so that's what's most interesting to me. You know, there's times, you know, Casey and I have been sitting talking for hours on end for years on end. And now over the last year and a half, I've been doing this podcast. It's an opportunity for us to share our perspective with the world and also hear what the world's going to say, you know, conversely. So, no, appreciate that. And my plug is simple, right? If you're out there listening, a lot of our listeners now are no longer junk world businesses. They're different types of businesses. They're salespeople. If you're out there and you got something to share that's of value to the other listeners of this podcast, we'd love to have you on. Find us at the trashtalkbusinesspodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook. Hit me up on LinkedIn. Hit up Casey on LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever. We love to meet and greet with more and more people so we can continue to make this industry better. So that's my shameless plug of the day. You know, continue to be great.
Yeah,
and of course, you know, go Cowboys, just because.
Oh, my God. There it is.
Go Dolphins. Go Dolphins.
All right, here we go. Let's go. All right, let's go. Last thing around the horn. Casey, what are the same order? Casey, what are the Cowboys? We're going to write this down. What are the Cowboys going to finish at this year? 17-game season. 17 games. Right?
So
above 500, below
4.
Holy cow. 13-4. I'm writing this down.
Yeah.
Y'all heard this. 13-4.
Our defense is going to clean shop. I think our new I'm excited to see our new Deuce Coupe, man. Like, Deuce.
Deuce Coupe?
We just picked him up. He's a rookie running back.
That ain't a real name.
He's like Sonic. That's what he is. He's like Sonic the Hedgehog.
All right,
same size as him and everything.
13-4. So you're going to win the division? 13-4. That you win in the division then. All right.
Yeah.
Casey, without hesitation. Josie, what you got for your Dolphins this year? Is Tua going to get – how many concussions Tua going to get? Let's start with that.
17.
No. Listen, it don't matter. Listen, if Tua don't get a concussion, Mike White's there. Y'all got to remember, we got Mike White. And he played for the Jets last year, and he was doing good before he got injured. So, like I said, we're sitting pretty good. So I'm saying that.
You might as well say you got Pat White.
Hey, we can go. Hey, I tell you what, though, Casey, you should come down because I got tickets for the Cowboys and the Dolphin game. You should come down and watch it.
Let's go.
December 24th. I'd love to meet you. But I say 14-3. Dolphins, 14-3.
14-3. Wow.
14-3.
All right, well, I'm going to be optimistic with our basically rookie quarterback, Jordan Love. I'm going 11-6, making the playoffs and make a fucking run. There we go. 11-6. Packers over the Cowboys in the NFC Championship game. That's what I'm saying.
We have better seasons when we do terrible in the preseason And since we lost yesterday, like
to the Jaguars. The Jaguars. Yeah.
That's fine. You know, because look at who played. Look at who we played. The most important thing is we got to see our depth. And that was the coolest part. I don't care if we win a preseason game or not. I want to see who we have when Tyson goes down and breaks a freaking leg or something.
Yeah, that's the other issue. Jordan Love played, I don't know, 2 series maybe. The other guy fucking played 3/4 of the game. Like, how's Jordan Love's got to get his reps in? He ain't all that yet. He needs to get some reps in.
He's gonna do something.
I mean, the Rodgers hasn't done a thing in preseason for years, but he earned it.
Dude, this is the year of Micah Parsons. Everybody write that down.
All right.
Micah Parsons.
All right, Joe. Yeah. Micah Parsons. Jeez.
This is the year of Micah.
Well, time will tell. Sure, we'll be talking football for the next 6 months in the Trash Talk Business Podcast. I'm Andy. He's Casey. He's Josie. It's been another amazing episode. We'll see you boys next week.